So one of my early assignments was, I'm not going to name the group all the time because then the person might track me down. But I was in a group leading some catechesis, and there was a group of about 25 people in the group, and there were two ladies who looked almost exactly the same in the group, same height, same hair colour, almost the same age, and shall we say the same stature. And so it was a lovely group, and I got on well with everyone in the group. But one day, I heard on the grapevine that one of these two ladies was pregnant. So at the next group meeting, I walked up to who I thought was the lady, and I said, "When's it due?" It wasn't her. It was the other one. So she looked at me and said, "Father, what are you talking about?" I'm like, I mean, and then I just walked away because I thought It's always good to be prepared for a meeting, isn't it? It's always good to know your stuff before you go into a meeting. Otherwise, you can make some basic and stupid errors. And that was definitely one of mine. Mary and Elizabeth, they are prepared for their meeting, their special meeting today. I mean, imagine Mary was just visiting Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth, in biblical terms, is about 80 years old. Do 8-year-old women get pregnant? No. So Mary comes along to Elizabeth's house, doesn't know a thing, right? And she sees a 6-month bump in Elizabeth's belly. She's probably thinking, I'm not going to say anything, but she's put on some weight. She's let it go. But Mary knows. Why? Because she believes in the word of the Lord. The angel Gabriel came to her and said, "You'll conceive and bear a son, and as testimony to this, your kinswoman, your cousin Elizabeth, has also conceived and will bear a son, who will be John the Baptist." And Mary believes. And so she greets Elizabeth, and there's an understanding between them. They know before they even speak a word. Because Elizabeth believes as well. She is prepared. She is prepared by the message of an angel that was sent to Zechariah. Remember Zechariah? He was the one who got the message from an angel. He's like, "Nah, it's not happening. My wife's too old." But Elizabeth believed, and she conceived and would bear John. And so when Mary turns up, Mary greets Elizabeth, and Elizabeth says, "Why should I be honoured with a visit from the mother of my Lord?" She believes already that the one whom Mary has conceived and will bear into the world is Jesus. And to confirm this, John the Baptist leaps in the womb. She feels that bump in her. These two women are well prepared because they believed, because they dedicated their lives to the Lord. So when the word of the Lord came to them, they were absolutely certain and prepared for their mission. And these two women had the greatest mission in the world that we've ever witnessed. One was to bear the forerunner to Christ, who was to prepare all of the people of Israel for that message. The other one, Mary, was to bear Jesus into the world for the salvation of our souls. Because they believed and they listened and they went forward in that way. How often, like I was with that pregnant woman, can we go into our relationship with the Lord, into our encounters with others, unprepared, with unprepared hearts, maybe full of passion or resentment or whatever it may be? And how often we mess things up and we don't even know why. How often we miss the straight path that's before us because of all the distractions in the world around us, when the way of the Lord stands in front of us. Christmas kind of reminds us of that, doesn't it? The way the Lord is born into obscurity in a small village in Bethlehem, it's easy for the world to miss. And when we are distracted, when we are waylaid by whatever there is in our lives, maybe it's the comforts of home, the pleasures of family, not even bad things, they can be good things. They could be our own sinful pride and lusts and habits, whatever it may be. All of these things take us to the right and to the left. And the Lord always presents himself as simply and as unobtrusively as he can in our lives. Think about it. Jesus could have come as a king on a cloud with scepter in his hands, and nobody could have missed him. Everyone would have knelt down at the name of Jesus, not out of love though, but out of compulsion. God's great risk on us, his preparation for us, is he only calls us out of love. which means it's easy, even though he's right before us, to miss him. Christmas is our chance to retune, to prepare as he prepares us for him. And it's the best preparation if we're attentive to it. Think about it. As soon as someone puts a baby in your hands, you change, don't you? Whether it's your own or someone else's. You may be carefree and be taking risks or just not be very attentive. But as soon as someone puts a newborn baby in your hand, you're the most careful person in the world. Because you know this thing is vulnerable and precious. I mean, I once had a friend comment to me. She was sitting in the front seat of my car, and we had two young kids in the back. And she got out of the car and she said, "Father James, you drove about 30 miles an hour slower than you normally do." Why? Because I've got precious cargo in the back. They're vulnerable, so I took more care to make sure they got to their destination properly. It can be easily missed, a baby. But if he's in our hands, we won't let him go. We'll take care of him. We'll take care of him as if he were our own, as if he were part of us, as he was part of Mary. Well, that's the truth about our faith. That's the wonderful truth. Jesus is part of us, and we need to nurture him in our lives. These last few days before Christmas, and we're talking a couple of days, Christmas Day is on Tuesday. Let's take the opportunity to reorient ourselves, to focus in, to spend time in silence. Spend time in silence before the crib. You notice that Jesus isn't there yet. We'll place him there at our Christmas masses. Let's spend time before that space. Spend time before the Lord in prayer. Just reorienting ourselves, taking away the distraction and focusing on the one who places himself in our hands to be nurtured and to be loved and to grow within us so that we may, as Mary did, bear him into the world. Amen.